The Powertrain Perspective podcast is sponsored by TransStar Aftermarket Solutions.
Welcome again to Powertrain Perspective. Today we're going to be talking with Chris Horbach. Chris serves as the Executive Director of the Torque Converter Rebuilders Association, TCRA, or as the members refer to it, TCRA. Chris, you may know as an engineer from Borg-Warner as well, but for many years he served as the Executive Director of this association. So Chris, welcome and good to see you.
Yeah, likewise, Bobby. Thanks for the invite.
Now, tell us a little bit, how did this association form and who makes up your membership?
So the association started back in 1997 by a gentleman named Corky Myers. At that time, he was selling torque converter rebuilding systems, which is equipment to cut open, to weld, balance torque converter equipment. And he saw some value in organizing a group of specialists in this industry to support one another and promote the torque converter rebuilding industry. The association right now consists of just a little over 100 members, and a lot of those are from torque converter rebuilders or remanufacturers and shops, also transmission rebuilders and shops, suppliers from across the industry, and a combination of businesses that specialize in both transmission rebuilding and torque converter rebuilding.
Now, I've been associated with the group for just about since Corky founded it, and I know it to be one that has a tremendous focus on the technical aspects of the torque converter in particular and in the larger transmission system as well. Just exactly what, in that vein, what does the association provide to its membership?
Provides things like a members-only Facebook group to share questions, especially if some of these newer converters create some challenges. Provides a network to ask others who are willing to share. So between the forum, the Facebook group, those are critical to sharing that information. I think probably maybe most critical is access to the TCRA online website, which has technical specs which can only be had through TCRA. So we've got a library of technical specs that outline observations and dimensions of different converters for the rebuild process, and also a pretty lengthy list of technical articles and even definitions on what those dimensions mean for the technical specs.
Okay, by the time this streams, you and I will have met in person in Houston for the annual conference the association holds. Tell us a little bit about what goes on at that conference and how valuable it is.
Sure. So the first thing is identifying a location, and the association tries to make it convenient for attendees to also bring their families along to enjoy the venue or the location while the attendees participate in the tours and a little bit of learning. So again, this year in Houston, down south, it's a little warmer. Each year we try to plan an industry related tour, whether it's OEM, whether it's machining equipment, specialty like this year for performance diesel applications, we toured Circle D. And then we usually try to couple it with kind of a fun, unique stop on the way back to the hotel. For example, last year we stopped at the Naval Aviation Museum in Pensacola, which is the home of the Blue Angels. And we got kind of a private tour and a little bit of history there from some guides. This year we've stopped at NASA Space Center Houston. So in the past we've done Haas, we've even done Boeing. So we try to make it a very value-added tour. We've been to OEMs, so we mix it up and try to make it educational and a fun experience for everybody. Normally on Thursday night, Wolfpack will have a reception, a welcome reception for everybody that's checking in, kind of lets everybody network and say hi to each other. Guys that haven't seen each other in the industry for a while use an opportunity to visit before Friday, which is a tour day. And then also on Friday, TCRA has a member meeting where members can provide some very valued feedback to the association, let us know what they like, maybe what they don't like. We could provide financials to them. And we also it gives us an opportunity to provide the trajectory of where the TCRA Association is heading, what our plans are, and recap what we've done in the last year. Friday night usually wraps up with a very nice reception from Sonax. And then on Saturday, it becomes classroom day. And we have anywhere from 7 to 8 expert speakers from around the industry. And the presentations range from everything from business to what's going on in the transmission remanufacturing or torque converter remanufacturing industry to what's some new challenges with the new 10-speed applications. What are some examples of transmission issues that get blamed for converter issues and vice versa, and how can we all work together to fix those problems? And then we also get an opportunity from OEMs to understand what's coming.
And the whole purpose of the association is really to create a better sub-assembly, because that's what converters mostly are for the transmission shop. How do you go about doing that? Your members, they're always trying to improve the quality of what they do.
Right. So we offer a lot of technical support that most transmission guys may not realize. So, for example, I mean, there's a lot of things shared between a converter and a transmission other than just being coupled together. They operate in the same fluid. They both use, sometimes similar friction materials. Clearances are involved. They both operate off of the same control systems, the computer and software systems. So often it could be a control system issue that's affecting how the converters react. And it's very important to understand what transmission shops and remanufacturers see to understand what's going on in the converter, and vice versa. We can provide that feedback to the transmission guys that may not be as familiar with what goes on in the torque converter. I mean, unfortunately, most torque converters outside performance aren't bolted together. So the only way to really see what's going on inside is to cut them open. And that's where, again, the torque converter suppliers and remanufacturers come into play, as they can cut them open, diagnose them, provide that valued feedback to the transmission shops, while the transmission shop provides valued feedback on their diagnosis going the other direction.
Very good. You mentioned the website a few minutes ago, and I want to check, is that website information available to anybody, or is that a members only situation?
Yeah, it's a members only website. It is limited to public access in some areas, such as seminar sign up and things like that. But to access the technical specs and technical articles, it's a members only.
And how does someone become a member of TCRA?
They can either go straight to the website, and there's a place you can click in the top right corner. It says Join TCRA. It's $60 a month, typically billed quarterly or annually.
Okay. And once you're a member, you're going to be able to participate in the website. You're going to be able to attend. I guess anyone can attend the conference, but members and the member meeting and whatnot. So there's some value involved in joining.
Right. And some of that money's worth comes at the seminar. So if you're a member of TCRA, there's a discounted rate for registering as a member.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being here today. I look forward to seeing you in Houston next week at the annual conference. And we'll appreciate everyone who streamed in and watched us today on Powertrain Perspective.
Very good. I appreciate the time, Bobby.